Hello everybody, this is Blade Cross EXE, and it's time for another Transformers review. This one is one that I've had for several years, but just recently dug out of my toy container, G1 Ultra Magnus. And as you can tell by the shortened smokestacks on the cab and the very long missiles, this is not the original G1 from the 80s. This is in fact the re-release from the early 2000s. And he does have a little bit of grime on him. I really should have cleaned him up before actually bringing him on camera. Anyway, I'm talking about this figure today because they did recently announce that we're getting not only a missing link version of Ultra Magnus, which will be in this color scheme, and we're also getting a missing link version of Delta Magnus, which is based on the original Diaclone version. For those who aren't aware, Missing Link is a line of Transformers figures that aesthetically look the part of the original G1 toy, but with a lot of modern engineering and budget poured into it. So for example, you can see in this armored robot mode, Ultra Magnus, he's got no legs, to like so to speak. There's no leg bend right there. He just kind of scoots around, because you can see that the bottom of the trailer becomes his feet, and he just kind of rolls. But the legs don't really bend here. But the Missing Link version, he's got like all the articulation, even in super armor robot mode. And I'm super excited about it. Got mine pre-ordered. Can't wait for it to get here. Because I haven't really been impressed with any of the modern offerings for Ultra Magnus since the G1 toy. Like, every one of them, from Combiner Wars to Kingdom to Siege to Studio Series 86, they've all had something that I felt was lacking. And, like, even as someone who is a big fan of the G1 cartoon, and I'm not going to pretend that the toys always match how they look in the cartoon, I always felt that there was, I always felt there was a little bit something lacking in most Ultra Magnus toys. But I'm really excited, and we're finally getting what I would consider to be at least my definitive Ultra Magnus. It is the one that will be for my toy shelf, my collection, and one that I will use when playing with my Transformers. The only pieces on here that are not part of the original version that I had are these little door flaps. I still have both of them from mine. One of them actually broke a long time ago, so I recently got some replacements, and I did notice that they were slightly off-white compared to the original. That could be color fading, it could be the plastic was cast in a slightly different color. I don't know how well it shows up on camera. You might not be able to see, but in real life you can definitely see it, so I just went ahead and put both of them on there because I had to buy them as a set of two anyway. Furthermore, even though I do love the spring-loaded missiles, and I do appreciate the fact that they're super long so that they're not a choking hazard anymore, that just looks goofy. You're going to charge the Decepticons with big old sticks like that on shoulder-mounted rockets? No, I don't think so. And I do still have all four of the missiles. Here's three of them. The fourth one is over there on the floor now. But I did also buy, from the same seller, these tiny missiles from the original G1 version. I do notice that they are a slightly lighter shade of red than the newer, bigger ones. And I noticed that the warhead, I think, is slightly smaller on the old ones, too. I did notice that with a lot of the G1 re-releases, especially if you look at, like, the Seekers. Like, their missiles just look really, really weird. And, oh, I don't know if these actually are compatible with mine, because I just now noticed that the pegs on the back are not shaped the same. Oh, no! Yeah, like, there's, like, a little, like, cross shape right there, a little upside-down T shape, like semicircle with a stick. But that's just a circle. Oh no, that's not compatible with mine. Sorry, Ultra Magnus, you're stuck with the big goofy ones. Well, sometime down the road, I might get a either find a 3D printer to find and print some shoulder cannons that don't fire to use as a replacement for these, or I will see if I can find some original G1 versions. So that way I can actually mount these in there. I just now opened the missiles. I didn't realize that they weren't compatible. I should have double-checked that. Oh well. Yeah. Do think it's kind of funny you can give him a missile to use it like a club. Ever since Beast Wars, we got Silverbolt, who uses his missiles as swords. Anytime I see a really long missile with like a skinny, I guess, shaft and a big warhead, I just imagine using it as a melee weapon. So, articulation on the big super robot mode. This is trailer plus truck cab. The only real articulation you get here is, you don't even really get a lot with the head. You get a little side to side, but not, actually no, I don't even think you get side to side with this. Yeah, no, the head doesn't turn. He just kind of sits there. So let's plug him back into his armor. You can see the pegs right there. You got the little sockets. You got the pegs. Plugs in there. Also compatible with the G1 Optimus Prime body. So if you want to go for the screen accurate look to where his back and the top of his shoulders are also red, just slap an Optimus Prime in there and you're good. The true powered convoy. So the arms move up on a ratchet joint. They swing around a full 360. You got a little bit of elbow swivel. Not a lot of rotation. You can pull the sleeves back a little bit. I prefer to keep them about right there, just so that way there's not a lot of white showing around the wrist. Same with the other arm. And the gun can be held in both modes. I do know that they did also release a G1 style Ultra Magnus toy recently in that 4-pack that came with, let me see, it was Bumper, Horrible, and Animated Nemesis Prime. And I wanted to get that, but it's very expensive, and people are selling the individual bots for, honestly, more than they're worth. One thing I think is kind of funny, just by complete chance, is that peg right there, which you'll see is for transformation later, that's Minicon compatible, like from Armada. Yeah, because remember, me and my brother were collecting these in like the early 2000s, so we'd be playing with the Transformers, and I just suddenly slap a Minicon on his arm, and I was like, yeah, he's got double firepower now, or infinite missile hacks. Because, you know, sometimes in Armada, it would just be a thing of, yeah, just plug the Minicon on your arm, and your handheld gun is suddenly extremely more powerful for whatever reason. It's been a while since I watched Armada. I know that Minicons are incredibly powerful. I just think it's kind of silly when that's what gets upgraded. So, let's go ahead and get this guy transformed. So, first thing you're going to want to do is remove the shoulder cannons here. Set those aside. Next, we are going to remove the big hands. We'll set those aside. Those don't really have a place to go while in vehicle mode, I'm sad to say. Then we are going to detach the cab from the trailer. Now let's go ahead and look at the cab body before we fully transform into truck mode. So here we have, it's basically albino Optimus Prime. It's just white body Optimus Prime to represent Ultra Magnus. And didn't actually appear in the G1 cartoon like this. Whenever he transformed, he always became the truck and trailer combo, which is why the Studio Series 86 toy does as such. And the Combiner Wars version without third-party upgrades also as well. But I like the way he separates into, you know, white Optimus Prime here. Like, I really dig that. Now, yeah, he keeps bending like that. I think that's kind of a design flaw with this particular run of the toy. I don't know if the original G1 version had this problem, but sometimes he just snaps like that. Like, there's like some springs, or however that is wound in there. They just kind of snaps into place just after standing in one place for too long. Seems to have only gotten worse over the years. He does have a little bit of knee bend, but his knees don't turn side to side. There's no swivel. Feet, they fold down. He does have some die-cast parts. You know, it's a lost art. Shoulders move like that to form the boxiness of the cab. The hands plug in and they can disconnect, like so. I like to store them inside the chest, as I showed a second ago, just that way you don't lose them. And the blaster can be equipped like that. It's got a big handle at the back of it for big mode, and it's got that handle for, you know, not big mode. And again, the giveaway that this is not the original G1 version is that the shoulder stacks, the smokestacks, are way smaller. So, to get this guy transformed into truck mode, you're going to take the hands, and for storage, again, I like to keep them in here. You're going to fold the head back. You're going to fold the shoulders in to make a box. You take the arms, and then you swivel them over the wheels. The legs fold up on their own because those things are wound too tight. And there's truck mode. And truck mode does have an opening, like, windshield right here. That's also die-cast metal. And that's, you know, truck cab. Now let's take a look at the trailer. So, after we disconnect the hands, what you're going to want to do is take the shoulders and pull them out. Then you take the arms, you straighten them out, extend them this way, and it's a little stiff because I haven't actually played with this thing in like 15 years. You extend the arms as far as they will go, and then you connect them with these points up here where you formerly place the missile pods, and also where I store the Minicon, plugs in right there. That is the top rack of the car carrier. Probably should have actually swung the wheel holder thing out first, and then you take these little flaps, you flip them this way, so that now we have a little place for the arms here to latch onto. Now you can extend these forward, now that the hands aren't there, and they just kind of clip into place, like so. There we go. And that is that right there is a belt for robot mode. There's not one on the inside. I don't remember if I dug that one out of the toy container or if it's elsewhere. He comes with two though, but you'll take this one and you'll unplug it from there. You'll swing it around and plug it in on the underside, because under here is where the trailer hitch is at, and that's how he plugs in while in truck mode. And again, you could also just plug an Optimus Prime into this, and everything would be great. Move the camera down a little bit. There we go. Then you take the rocket launchers and you plug them in right here. Or if you want to be goofy, you could store the hands right there instead. Pretty sure those are the same size. Yeah, just take the hands. There you go. And this little thing down here, this is another thing that I really like about the G1 toy, and none of the others, even the screen accurate ones, have this. This little chest plate thing detaches and it's like a little flyable vehicle, because you know it's based on Diaclone. You can see a little pilot switch sit right there. One thing I never did as a kid, but saw it in a picture later. Take the helmet and you plug it in right there, and then apparently that's a couple extra guns for it. I did see in the Missing Link version, it's going to come with another small robot from the Diaclone line, and you are able to plug the gun on top of that, and it will do its own thing. So this little goofy goober, for what it is, sits over there. I'm glad Ultra Magnus comes with one of those, because Optimus Prime's trailer gets roller, so why shouldn't Ultra Magnus have a little drone friend too? So now we come around to the trailer, and we can fold down these little doors right here, and boom, and boom. Now he's ready to load up with any Autobot cars you happen to have on hand. In my case, I got a G1 Beachcomber here. You just drive them up, and he'll just sit up there. And I have Titan's Return Blur. This is a new addition to my collection. We'll take a look at him soon. Yeah, kind of big, takes up a lot of space. I want to show for size comparison, I also have Studio Series A6 Cup. I don't know how to transform this one yet. I just took him out the box I got him off of eBay from, so I don't have the instructions. Gonna have to play around with him a bit. But that's how tall he is standing next to G1 Ultra Magnus in truck mode, not necessarily for robot mode. I'll change him back here in a sec to show how that works. But so that's him with a couple of Autobot cars, and you can put your Minicon friend up there if you like. Being a car carrier, he is able to store quite a large number of cars, and I am really sad that we didn't get to see that functionality in the final cut of the movie, even though there is a deleted scene with it. Yeah, we get to see Ultra Magnus along with Red Alert, Trax, and I want to say, no, it wasn't Smokescreen. There was one, oh, Sideswipe. We get to see them square up against Devastator. Yeah, and like Ultra Magnus just busts through a wall, or no, Devastator busts through the wall. Ultra Magnus pulls in with his trailer loaded full of Autobots, and they all disembark, and then they all just start raining fire on the Constructicons. It's really cool. But you can fold these flaps back to that position, and you can set them down like that. I've seen some people say this is like a long-range missile launcher mode, like if you want to do like an anti-air missile or something. I really think it's just to take your Autobot car and just drive it up, and there he is. He's connected into place now, and you just raise it back up, and then it's like you see a car carrier driving on the highway like that. He's got a car up there, and you can park someone else down here. So now, from truck to robot mode, detach that, and then we will disconnect the belt thing from underneath, like I showed a second ago. Swing these back into place. Then we disconnect the arms. It's a little bit stiff after all these years. Long, lanky arms. He doesn't have as many official modes or official like configurations as Optimus Prime's trailer kind of does, because like it's meant to be like a mobile repair station and a battle station, but you could get creative and do something silly and goofy with this. Like you could have him with rocket launchers for hands if you wanted, because again, these are the same size hole, same size plug. There you go, look at that. Now these are fragile. I don't recommend trying to take them off. I know sometimes when a robot toy has removable parts, you want to take the part off and pretend that it's battle damage. These are two that I do not recommend trying to remove. I was actually scared trying to get them back on. I thought they were going to break on me again, and I just got them. And that's the reason I haven't played with Ultra Magnus in a while, because that was broken. But now he's fixed, and he gets to hang out with all my other Autobots that I have. Wow, that is really stiff. I wonder if there's a way to fix that. All that just kind of clicks into place, and you basically have the armor suit for Ultra Magnus. That plugs into place right there. You can see those little sockets. You take his little jet plane buddy, and you snap that back into place. And then, again, effectively the only thing you want to transform for this is just to pull his head up. And come on. There we go. Keep him mostly boxy. Yeah, just plug those in. He plugs into place. You can also see like these little nubs on his tires. They do plug into those slots right there. So you do need to line those up as well. That's honestly an easier guide than just trying to plug the armholes into the pegs that are back there. One thing that kind of keeps the legs back here in place is that they try to spread out into a wide A stance, but the confined armor kind of keeps them in place. You plunk the helmet on him. You put the hands back on. You give him his big old blaster rifle. And then you plug the rocket launchers back into place. I don't know if there's actually a left or right on these, because I can't tell if the pegs are different sizes. Sometimes they look like one's bigger than the other, but I'm not certain. And there we have the mighty second in command of the Autobots after the movie, because everyone else died, Ultra Magnus. One of my favorite Autobots. I've really grown attached to him over the years. And here we have the likes of Cup standing next to him. That's actually not a bad size comparison. I forgot how big his G1 toy actually was. And I'm really glad that they kept that kind of scale with him. Now let's get some Decepticons in here to compare. Here we have Cyclonus in jet mode. There we go. May or may not transform him here in a second. I'm going to get Galvatron in here for a size comparison real quick. Generation selects Galvatron, which uses the same mold as the Kingdom and Studio Series 86 Galvatron. Ultra Magnus dwarfs him. Like, jeez. He's way taller. I know that the Studio Series 86 figure is even taller than that, but if I remember correctly, but I see it's kind of hilarious. Ultra Magnus is like way bigger than Galvatron. Even when they're standing side by side. Man, Galvatron just dwarfs Cup, too. And the only Optimus Prime figure from any modern version that I have is the Target version. I am in the process of trying to get the Dramatic Capture Autobot headquarters version, which is basically Earthrise, but with a slightly different paint job. Also comes with mainframe and jazz. So yeah, it's way taller than Optimus Prime, which that actually isn't too far of a stretch, because remember, he is a truck and a trailer combo. But how big is G1 Ultra Magnus? Okay, not too much shorter. Oh, whoops. Sorry, Cup. Yeah, the spring leg strike again. Yeah, cab mode, he is a little taller than Cup, even if we don't take the big head into account. And he's just a little bit shorter than Laser Optimus Prime, which Laser Prime is already bigger than G1 style Prime anyway. I don't have a G1 style Prime to compare him to, but that is what it is. And other Decepticons from the movie I can think of, well, I got Blitzwing. Or we could compare Blitzwing to Cup here, because they had a moment at the beginning of the movie. Yeah, after I unboxed Blitzwing, I did go out and actually get the big hands for him, because this is the Dramatic Capture version. It didn't come with the big hands that the Legacy, or not Legacy, Was it Legacy? I'll post whatever was here. And, yeah. Wow, he is, like, broader than Cup, too. Yeah, Cup had the moment in the movie where he, like, grabbed Blitzwing's tank cannon and angled it to where he would blast, I think it was shrapnel out of the sky. You know, when they're first getting to Autobot City. So, yeah, clear away all this junk, put Galvatron away, and put Ultra Magnus back in his armor, and just have him hanging out with his Autobot buddies for now. I haven't learned how to transform Blur yet either, because again, I just got some of these, so I haven't taken the time to get to know them yet. But yeah, so that was my breakdown of the Generation 1 Ultra Magnus. It does have some quirks that I could feel comfortable saying that they haven't aged incredibly well. But again, toy design has come a long way since the 80s, and I am really hyped for the Missing Link version. I still love this figure dearly, and I really am, like, passionate about the character of Ultra Magnus from the original G1 cartoon. As time's gone on, he's become one of my favorites. Even back then, I liked him, just because I've always been kind of the guy who likes Luigi over Mario, and that's kind of what Ultra Magnus is, because the original version was designed as like an alternate or an upgrade to the Diaclone Optimus Prime. So it's kind of like Ultra Magnus is the player 2. It's like Optimus Prime is Mario and Ultra Magnus is Luigi. So I've just always had an affinity for Ultra Magnus, and it's only gotten stronger over the years. Really like the character. Really should read some of the comics that he's been in too, you know, to kind of see what other versions have been like. But yeah, so thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in whatever the next video is. Peace out. Special thanks to all Patreon supporters, including Mark Hastings,